No, sir, I don't got no bodies. Don't put me in that conversation in any type of situation. Don't troll with it. Don't rap about it. Don't even speak on it, as Boosie just got a very light sentence in the feds, and I say beating the feds because they wanted prison time from him, but he was able to walk it.
Welcome back to Buzzbuster. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss daily videos. Pooh Shiesty just dropped a post on Instagram that blew up the entire hip-hop scene, and Lil Boosie's alleged reaction has everyone losing it. He captioned his photo saying, "Only rapper that has more bodies than me is Lil Boosie." That one line flipped the internet upside down. Right after that post, all hell broke loose. People started whispering about old federal cases, street beefs, rumors of paid hits, and shocking stories that sounded way too real. This ain't just rap drama. This is deep, street-level tension that's got everyone watching closely. Word on the block says what Boosie allegedly clapped back with will have your jaw hitting the floor. Now, Boosie's no rookie in this game.
Pooh Shiesty says Boosie's the only rapper that got more bodies than him. On another episode of Rappers Out Here Telling on Them Damn Selves, you got Pooh Shiesty talking about Boosie's the only one that done.
He's a certified legend, a man the streets respect for keeping it real and never folded. He's built his name off raw truth and survival. But behind that fame sits a past darker than most people realize. When you look back, Boosie's name has been tied to one of the wildest murder-for-hire cases hip-hop's ever whispered about. People still talk about the rumors, 15 bodies, a young shooter named Marlon Mike, and courtroom confessions that once shook the entire state of Louisiana. It's heavy history that never fully disappeared. Now Pooh Shiesty's out here trolling, claiming he's got more bodies than Boosie, and the internet's going crazy. But this story's not just for clicks or comments, it's way deeper than online talk. Some say even federal eyes might be watching. So to really get why this moment matters, we got to rewind the clock all the way back to the mid-2000s in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where the streets were hot and Boosie was rising fast while allegedly running moves way beyond music. According to old reports and courtroom whispers, Boosie wasn't just rapping about the streets, he was allegedly living that life for real. That's where Marlo Mike came into the picture.
Lay down more, you know what, than him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, boy, you ain't learned your lesson just getting out. Boosie probably over there like, come on, man. Come on.
Real name, Michael Marlo Louding, a teenager whose story would forever change how people looked at Boosie's rise to fame. This kid was only 15 when he allegedly got caught up in something way bigger than him, supposedly becoming Boosie's personal hitman. Wild, right? A teenager out here allegedly doing street work for a rap superstar. Court documents and testimony paint a chilling picture. In Marlo Mike's own confession, he claimed Boosie was paying him to take out anyone who crossed him. And it wasn't just one job or some small-time beef. This was said to be a full-blown operation that allegedly left around 15 people gone. The bond between Boosie and Marlo Mike ran deep, built on loyalty, money, and fear that ruled the Baton Rouge streets. Marlo Mike looked up to Boosie like a big brother, maybe even a role model. But that respect allegedly turned into something darker. Boosie, with all his influence, reportedly pulled a young kid deep into a dangerous game. Everyone around Baton Rouge felt something was off, but nobody dared to talk. In those streets, silence was survival. Speak up, and you might end up the next headline. But here's where things really twist. Marlo Mike wasn't some heartless gangster. Deep down, he was still a kid carrying too much weight on his shoulders. After the alleged string of murders, his mind began to crack under the pressure. Testimonies later claimed he couldn't sleep. Every face he'd seen haunted his dreams. The guilt tore him apart until he just couldn't hold it in anymore. One day, he finally broke, walked into the police station, and spilled everything. He told them names, dates, and even exact spots where things went down. And then came the biggest shock of all. He allegedly named Boosie as the man behind the scenes, the one who gave the orders and paid for each hit. The streets went silent after that.
Boy, don't be out here talking about what Man, Boosie like, man, I just beat my case, man. What you doing, Pooh Shiesty? I could have swore Pooh Shiesty.
Nobody could believe what they were hearing. According to statements and official reports, these weren't random killings. Each target had a purpose. Some were over street beefs, others tied to talk of snitching, disrespect, or money drama that spiraled out of control. One of the names that stood out the most was Terry Boyd, shot and killed in October 2009, a murder that became one of the darkest moments in this whole tangled story. That case changed everything. Prosecutors claimed Boosie allegedly paid Marlo Mike $2,800 to take out Terry Boyd over a personal dispute. And that was just the beginning. Another man, Marcus Thomas, was allegedly targeted because, as the streets whispered, he was talking too much, and Boosie supposedly wanted that talk cut off for good. Then came Chris Jackson, whose killing prosecutors described as a cold, calculated hit. The deeper they looked, the longer the list of names grew. Daryl Milton, Michael Smith, Kendrick Bishop, all reportedly connected to what people called Boosie's underground network. Each of those victims had families, people who loved them, and lives that got ripped away behind pride, loyalty, and rap beefs that went too far. It's tragic when you realize how deep the violence ran and how much pain it left behind. But what makes it even chillier is what came next. According to Marlo Mike's testimony, Boosie wasn't just the one giving orders, he was allegedly the mastermind.
Reposting the F the Streets movement, right? Now he back over there bragging about.
He supposedly gave Marlo Mike step-by-step plans, what kind of weapon to use, the right time to move, and how to stay invisible to cops. This wasn't reckless street chaos. It sounded like something organized and cold-blooded, mapped out down to the smallest detail. Every move had purpose. Every hit had planning.
Now let's speak on something real quick. Nobody's here to pick sides or defend the streets, but the story shows how deep things went for a kid like Marlo Mike. He told investigators that after each job, Boosie would allegedly pay him in cash, sometimes a few thousand, sometimes more depending on the target. And for a 15-year-old trying to survive in Baton Rouge's roughest corners, that kind of money looked like power, safety, and respect, the keys to feeling untouchable. But with every hit, that money lost its shine fast. The weight of what he'd done started eating away at him, and no stack of cash could fix the damage that came with it. The evidence had the courtroom on edge. The air was thick with tension as the entire hip-hop world watched, waiting to see how it'd all end. The jury deliberated for hours while fans held their breath, wondering if one of rap's most legendary names was about to be taken down for murder. And when the verdict finally came in, it sent shockwaves through the culture. Boosie was found not guilty of first-degree murder in the Terry Boyd case. The moment that verdict dropped, the streets erupted in chaos and celebration. Boosie walked out of that courtroom a free man, at least for that charge, and Baton Rouge turned into one massive block party. Cars were honking, fans were cheering, and people were shouting that Boosie beat the system. But the story didn't end there, far from it. While Boosie celebrated freedom, Marlo Mike's story took a dark turn. He was convicted on multiple murder charges and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Just 22 years old, and his life was locked away forever, trapped behind bars for crimes he said he committed as a teenager. Meanwhile, the families of other victims were left shattered, broken by loss and unanswered questions. Even though Marlo Mike confessed to around 15 killings, only a handful made it to convictions. The justice system couldn't chase every case, leaving many families stuck in pain with no closure, no peace, no justice. As investigators kept digging, they uncovered something way bigger. Baton Rouge's dark underworld of power, money, and murder for hire that seemed to bleed into the rap scene itself. What they found sounded like a movie, a network where fame, fear, and street loyalty mixed in deadly ways. Federal authorities started connecting dots between rap beefs and real-life street violence, and the patterns they uncovered were disturbing. Witnesses in court described a brutal system, one where loyalty came through fear and betrayal could cost you your life. According to multiple testimonies, crossing Boosie or anyone tied to his circle allegedly meant one thing: you might not make it out alive. The prosecution tried to paint Boosie's world as something far darker than music. They claimed it was a criminal empire hiding behind a rap label's success. To them, it wasn't just beats and lyrics, it was about money, murder, and control. But out on the streets, people were split right down the middle.
Some believe Boosie was a victim, another successful black man targeted by a system that couldn't stand to see him win. They said he was just a product of his environment, fighting back against a setup that was bigger than him. Others, though, believed the opposite. They said Boosie allegedly used his fame and influence to pull strings in the streets,
putting more work in than anybody out there besides Boosie. We done heard the stories and things like that, but I'm like, man, these rappers gotta be smarter, man.
turning young guys into soldiers for his personal beefs. That argument didn't stay quiet. It took over barbershops, street corners, Twitter threads, and YouTube comment sections. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone had a theory. Some shouted free Boosie, while others said he went too far. The debate was everywhere, wild, emotional, and non-stop. But through all the noise, one thing stayed solid. Boosie's family never turned their backs on him. No matter how heavy things got or what the headlines said, they stood by his side, holding him down through every storm. The case may have ended in the courtroom, but the story of Boosie, Marlo Mike, and Baton Rouge's violent legacy was far from over. Boosie's mother, his kids, and his day one supporters never stopped riding for him. They kept saying he was innocent, that the system was twisting his story, trying to criminalize his art instead of understanding it. His people claimed prosecutors were out of line for using his lyrics as weapons, turning music into so-called evidence against him. Every verse he ever wrote got flipped into a headline. When Boosie finally walked free in 2014, it wasn't for a murder charge. He was released after serving time for drug offenses. But while he was behind bars, the streets of Baton Rouge had completely changed. That entire trial dragged the city's darkest side into the national spotlight, and law enforcement came down harder than ever. The police weren't playing anymore. The music scene was under a microscope, and every rapper's move got watched like never before. Meanwhile, Marlo Mike sat locked away inside Angola State Penitentiary, one of the roughest, most feared prisons in the country. In a few rare interviews, he's spoken with regret, saying things had gone differently. But by then, it was too late. 15 lives were gone, and one young man had thrown away his future before he was even old enough to vote. That chapter was sealed in tragedy. Fast forward to 2024, and out of nowhere, Pooh Shiesty pops up with an Instagram post that lit the internet on fire. He uploaded a picture with a caption that instantly sent shockwaves through hip-hop. "It's the only rapper that has more bodies than me is Lil Boosie." Within minutes, social media went wild. People arguing non-stop, asking the same question. Was it a diss? Was he trolling? Or was there something darker behind it?
Here's the thing. Pooh Shiesty's track record already speaks volumes. The dude's known for being reckless, diving headfirst into trouble like it's second nature. His name stays popping up in police reports, and nearly every case tied to him has something to do with a shooting. It's wild how deep his history runs, and once you look at what's on record, you'll see exactly why the internet couldn't stop talking. Let's start with the infamous King of Diamonds incident in Miami on May 30th, 2020. The night that threw Pooh right back in the headlines. According to reports, he allegedly shot a security guard at the strip club during a wild altercation that was all caught on camera. Witnesses said things escalated fast. Words were exchanged, tempers flared, and before anyone could step in, Pooh reportedly pulled out a gun and started firing. The guard was hit and injured right there on the spot. Total chaos broke loose. People ran, drinks spilled, and screams filled the club. This wasn't some accidental gun went off story, not even close. It looked intentional, violent, and fearless, all in a packed nightclub. That moment showed the world something real about Pooh's mindset. When things get heated, his first instinct seems to be reaching for that trigger. And sadly, that pattern didn't stop there. It only got worse from that night forward. Next up, the Bay Harbor Island shooting and robbery case, the one that brought heavy federal attention straight to Pooh Shiesty's name. On October 9th, 2020, prosecutors say Pooh and his crew set up what looked like a regular deal to buy weed and designer sneakers from two men. But instead of paying, things flipped fast. According to officials, Pooh and his crew robbed the victims at gunpoint, taking everything. Shots were fired, chaos erupted again, and another case got stamped to his record.
That one move turned Pooh from just another street rapper into a headline name for all the wrong reasons. The feds started watching closer, wondering if there was more going on behind the scenes. From Baton Rouge to Miami, from courtrooms to clubs, the streets were buzzing with one big question.
You get to talking like that, man. Them folks gonna be watching you. You're not helping yourself with that when it comes to that, right? You might want to keep that to yourself. You might not want to be online talking about body that you don't call. You might not want to do this.
Was Pooh Shiesty trying to follow Boosie's footsteps, or was history about to repeat itself in a whole new way? Shots rang out, and chaos took over in seconds. One of the men got hit in the hip while everything went down. And here's the wild part. The entire thing was caught on surveillance cameras. Federal agents claim the footage showed it all. Pooh Shiesty's crew rolling up, flashing weapons, and storming off with the goods like something out of a movie. But it gets even crazier. Reports say Pooh allegedly fired a shot that hit one of the victims in the backside, leaving him bleeding in the street while the crew sped off with the marijuana and sneakers. Can you even imagine shooting someone over some weed and shoes? It sounds unbelievable, but that's exactly what the case files say went down. The victim had to be rushed to the hospital for emergency surgery, fighting to recover from the wounds. Prosecutors didn't hold back. They came for Pooh Shiesty hard. He was hit with heavy federal charges: conspiracy to possess firearms in connection with violent and drug trafficking crimes, plus discharging a firearm during a crime of violence. These weren't state-level charges. This was federal business, and when the feds get involved, it's a whole different game. The Miami and Bay Harbor cases showed the world that Pooh Shiesty wasn't just rapping about chaos, he was allegedly living it. These were serious accusations, the kind that come with mandatory minimums and zero room for mercy. The feds don't move unless they've already built something solid, and by the time they came knocking, their case against Pooh looked airtight. In January 2022, Pooh decided to take a plea deal, pleading guilty to a firearms conspiracy charge to dodge an even heavier sentence. The judge handed him 63 months, which is just over 5 years in federal prison. As of now, he's still locked up, and the earliest he might see freedom is sometime in 2026. But even then, he won't be completely free. He'll be on supervised release, meaning one slip-up, one wrong move, and he's heading right back behind bars. But here's what's got the streets and the internet talking non-stop. Pooh's track record paints a dangerous picture. His past shows a clear pattern. A man who acts first and thinks later, who reaches for the trigger before trying to walk away. From the King of Diamonds shooting to the Bay Harbor Islands robbery, these weren't random moments. They painted a story of someone way too comfortable living life on the edge. So when Pooh jumps on Instagram and drops a caption like, "Only rapper that has more bodies than me is Lil Boosie," people can't help but wonder, is he just trolling for attention, or is there something more behind that claim? With everything that's on his record, the idea doesn't seem too far-fetched to some. And it doesn't stop there, not even close. You start looking at his lyrics, especially on his track First Day Out, and the message gets even darker. He raps about loyalty, violence, and revenge like they're second nature, almost like the music's reflecting real life. It leaves fans asking one big question that still hangs in the air. Where does the music end and the truth begin?
Pooh Shiesty spits it raw in his track, "I don't even gotta be there, I just send the addy in the back end." That line hit hard, basically saying he can drop a location and send money to handle his problems without ever showing up. Sounds like he's talking about ordering hits from a distance, and that sounds way too familiar. That's almost the exact kind of thing Boosie was allegedly accused of doing back in the day with Marlo Mike. The parallels are wild, and here's where it gets serious. The feds watch stuff like that closely. They've got a long history of using rap lyrics in court, especially when those bars start lining up with real-life crimes. And for Pooh, that's dangerous territory. He's already serving real time for gun charges, but if he keeps dropping lyrics about bodies and posting cryptic captions online, he's only stacking evidence against himself. Every bar, every post, every emoji could turn into ammo for prosecutors down the line. Pooh might think it's just rap, just flexing for the gram,
but to the feds, it's potential proof. And now that his post has gone viral, the internet split right down the middle. Half the fans are hyped, saying it's just rap talk, part of the culture, just flexing like every other street rapper. But the other half is side-eyeing the situation hard, saying he's playing with fire while still being under federal watch. Think about it. Man's sitting in prison for gun charges, and he's still posting captions that sound like confessions. That's beyond bold. That's reckless. The streets are buzzing with whispers that this whole situation could turn into something much bigger than a social media stunt. See, when you name drop Lil Boosie in that kind of context, that's not just trolling, that's borderline disrespect. Especially when you're talking about someone who already beat one of the biggest murder cases hip-hop's ever seen. Boosie's name still carries weight in the streets, heavyweight. He's not the type to let anyone play with his legacy for clout. And word floating around online says Boosie's circle caught wind of Pooh's post and did not take it lightly. Nobody's confirming anything, but the talk is that Boosie might have already responded quietly, making a few phone calls behind the scenes. Whether it's true or not, the tension in the air is real, and here's what makes it even wilder. While fans are treating it like entertainment, the feds are definitely watching all of this unfold. They don't miss a single move. Posts like that don't just vanish, they get screenshotted, archived, and filed away, especially when they're coming from a federal inmate already tied to violent crimes. Pooh might think he's just stirring the pot for buzz, but what he's really doing might be stirring up his own case. Meanwhile, Boosie's been calm, chilling in silence. No public response, no big statement, just letting things simmer. But that silence, it's making everything even more mysterious. It's a study in every story, every lyric, every interview clip, trying to see if Boosie's sending any subliminal shots back. And if there's one thing people know about Boosie, it's that he doesn't always clap back online. He's old school with it, patient, strategic, and never the type to show his hand too soon. So while the internet runs wild with speculation and theories, Boosie's probably sitting back, watching, and letting the streets talk for him. One thing's for sure, this whole situation's got energy, and not the good kind. Between viral drama, federal eyes, and street pride, what started as an Instagram caption might just turn into something much heavier if people don't chill out soon. Sometimes Boosie doesn't need to post a thing. He lets his message be felt offline. And now, everyone's wondering, is this the start of another rap war or just another reckless move from a rapper who can't stay out of drama? Either way, this whole situation is putting the spotlight right back on the dangerous crossroads between music, the streets, and federal attention. Because one thing's for sure, when rappers turn their real-life chaos into content, the internet might cheer, but the feds, they take notes. And if Pooh Shiesty keeps posting wild captions and dropping bars that sound like confessions, he might not just be chasing clout, he could be writing the first page of his next case file. When Pooh jumps online and throws shade at Boosie, saying he's got more bodies, that thin line between truth and trolling gets real blurry. Maybe he's hinting at something real, or maybe he's just playing a dangerous game that could cost him way more than likes. Either way, that post didn't just make noise, it set the whole rap world on fire. Word spread fast, and according to people close to the situation, Boosie saw it and he was not happy. Word on the street is, Boosie said something like, "These young boys don't know what they're talking about. They playing with their freedom for Instagram likes." Nobody's confirmed the exact quote, but insiders say Boosie definitely didn't take that diss lightly. Still, Boosie's too smart to respond recklessly. He's been through that storm before. The courtroom battles, the near life sentence, the years of watching his freedom hang by a thread. He's not about to let a social media post drag him right back into the feds' line of sight. Boosie's learned his lesson the hard way, and this time he's moving carefully, watching everything unfold from a distance. But what this whole situation really shows is something way deeper than just two rappers trading shots online. It shines a harsh light on a darker side of hip-hop culture, one where young artists are out here competing over violence instead of success. They're bragging about who's got more bodies, who's more street, who's more real, like it's a trophy.
And that mentality is turning deadly. What starts as internet talk is spilling into real life. People getting shot, locked up for decades, or losing everything before their careers even begin. It's heartbreaking when you realize how normal it's starting to sound. The lines between clout and consequences are fading fast.
Pooh Shiesty is only 22 years old, and he's already sitting on federal time. His whole career and future hanging by a thread. The streets might treat it like entertainment, like part of the image, but the feds, they don't see it that way at all. They don't see rappers, they see suspects. Every lyric, every caption, every bar becomes another line in a federal file. And with how fast things are moving, it's clear. One careless post could flip a rap beef into another federal case. The same way Marlo Mike threw his life away as a teenager and now spends the rest of his days behind bars, Pooh might be heading down that same road if he doesn't wise up. It's a tragic cycle. Boosie beat his murder charge after years of fighting for his freedom, but Marlo Mike never made it out. Now the new generation is walking that same dangerous path, turning music into evidence and fame into fuel for destruction. What started as art is now being used as ammunition, and the more the lines blur between rap and reality, the more the consequences get real. Because in the end, one truth always stands. The internet might forget, but the feds never do. All those years of fighting for his freedom left Boosie with scars that'll never fade, the kind you can't see but can definitely feel. Both his story and Marlo Mike's serve as heavy reminders that this isn't some movie or rap video. This is real life, real people, real pain, and real consequences that never go away. That's what makes Pooh Shiesty's situation so wild. He's already sitting on federal time, yet he's out here posting online like none of it matters, bragging about bodies while the feds are literally watching his every move. It shows just how disconnected some young rappers have become from reality, like they've forgotten where the music ends and where real life begins. They're mixing up entertainment with evidence, and that's a dangerous game to play. The feds aren't guessing, they're watching closely. They're reading every Instagram caption, breaking down every lyric, and piecing together cases one post at a time. When someone jumps online talking about violence or body counts, they're practically handing prosecutors the ammunition to use against them in court. And while all that drama plays out for likes and reposts, people forget about the real victims behind the stories. In Boosie's case, 15 lives were lost, 15 families left broken, grieving, and still searching for peace. And when you look at Shiesty's track record, you can't help but ask, how many people have been hurt or shot in the situations tied to his name? These aren't just headlines or statistics, these are human lives, people who never come home again. That's where hip-hop as a culture needs to pause and take a hard look in the mirror. For years, the industry's pushed that keep it real and prove your street mentality energy, but somewhere along the way, it went too far. There's a huge difference between telling your story and living out violence just to brag about it for views and clout. Even Boosie himself has said in interviews that he regrets a lot of what went down. He's opened up about how close the street life came to destroying everything he built, his freedom, his family, his legacy. Now he talks about wanting to move differently, to be a better man for his kids. Whether people believe him or not, at least he's owning his past and showing he understands that every move has consequences. Meanwhile, Pooh Shiesty seems stuck in that same dangerous middle, caught between fame, street loyalty, and the watchful eyes of the feds. Every step he takes, every post he drops, every lyric he spits, it's all being watched, dissected, and saved by people waiting for the next slip-up. Unless Pooh learns from Boosie's or Marlo Mike's stories, he risks becoming another name on that growing list of talented rappers who never made it out. Right now, Pooh's story feels like it's sitting at a crossroads, one path leading to redemption and the other straight towards the same tragic cycle that's already taken too many. And here's the crazy thing, he still has time. He's young, talented, and sitting on a chance to rewrite his story, but only if he wakes up and realizes the truth. That same spotlight that made him famous could be the same light that exposes him to the feds. The industry's watching, the streets are watching, and so are the prosecutors. Every post, every lyric, every flex is being picked apart, not just by fans or bloggers, but by people in suits building files behind the scenes. It's no longer just about music, it's about survival in a world where every word can cost you your freedom.
Social media isn't just entertainment anymore.
To investigators, it's a goldmine for evidence. If Pooh Shiesty keeps bragging online about bodies and violence, he's not just hurting his image, he's practically handing over proof to the same people who already want to keep him locked up. Every post, every lyric, every caption is another breadcrumb for the feds to follow. Meanwhile, he's playing it smart. He's been through it all. He's seen how fast the ride from fame to federal courtrooms can happen. That's why he's keeping it quiet now, focusing on his family, business, and legacy, staying out of the drama and away from anything that can bring the wrong kind of attention. But Pooh, he's young, restless, and surrounded by people who might not have his best interests at heart. He's chasing clout while the people watching him are building files. The same energy that makes his name trend online could be what writes the next chapter in a courtroom. This whole situation has the entire hip-hop world talking. Not just fans, but OGs, producers, and rappers who already survived that same dangerous cycle. Everyone's saying the same thing, loud and clear. It's time for the new generation to stop mixing up realness with recklessness. Being authentic doesn't mean putting yourself in danger. It means learning from the pain, breaking the cycle, and moving smarter. Because at the end of the day, these aren't just stories made for clicks. These are lives. And once you cross certain lines, there's no going back. The Boosie and Marlo Mike story already showed how fast keeping it real can turn into a life sentence. And if Pooh Shiesty doesn't switch his path soon, he could end up learning that same brutal lesson firsthand. The truth is, hip-hop needs a reset, a new wave where rap doesn't have to mean bloodshed, and where young artists don't feel like they have to prove their street status to be respected. Fans want music, not mugshots. The culture has to shift, or hip-hop's gonna keep losing its brightest stars before they even hit their prime. So while Boosie's past stands as a warning, Pooh's present might be the biggest wake-up call of all. He's sitting at a crossroads. He can either break the pattern or become another headline, another artist who let the streets write the ending to his story instead of his music. The choice is his, but time's running out fast. Fast forward to today, the story's still unfolding right in front of us. Pooh Shiesty is still behind bars, counting down the days until his release, while his name keeps popping up in headlines for all the wrong reasons. Every time his music trends or an old video goes viral, it's a reminder of how quickly fame can flip into federal time. Meanwhile, Lil Boosie's out here rebuilding. He's managed to stay active in the rap game, dropping music, doing interviews, and running his own businesses. He's turned his story into survival, showing what it looks like when you move smarter after almost losing everything. But even Boosie knows that no matter how high he climbs, his past will always follow him. Every courtroom, every headline, every memory. The difference is, Boosie learned how to move. He figured out how to survive under the spotlight without letting it drag him back into the same streets that almost took him out for good. That's the real message hidden inside all of this. Growth. Because at the core, these stories, Boosie's, Marlo Mike's, and Pooh Shiesty's, aren't just about rap beefs or street talk. They're about the dangerous collision between fame, ego, and street life. The mix that's taken down too many young rappers before they even got the chance to reach their full potential. Every generation of hip-hop has its cautionary tales, but this one feels different. We're watching history repeat itself in real time. And unless somebody breaks the cycle soon, the next name we see trending might just be another talent lost too soon to the same trap of fame and street loyalty colliding. Every generation thinks they can outsmart the system, but the truth is, the system always catches up. Fans love the rawness, the authenticity, the real talk that comes through in the lyrics. But somewhere along the line, that realness turned into self-destruction. Rappers aren't just telling stories about violence anymore. They're living it, recording it, and posting it for the world to see. Then, when the feds come knocking, they act shocked, like they didn't see it coming. The scariest part, the next generation's watching all this play out like it's normal, like being reckless means being real. They don't see that every post, every flex, every lyric can be used as evidence. What used to be simple rap beef is now turned into real-life criminal proof. The streets might call it respect, but there's nothing respectable about losing your freedom or your life over social media clout. Lil Boosie barely made it alive. Marlo Mike, he'll never see freedom again. And Pooh Shiesty, he's still fighting to make sure his story doesn't end the same way. If anything, this entire saga should hit like a warning shot, not just for rappers, but for anyone chasing fame through chaos and controversy. Because in today's world, every move is being recorded, tracked, and judged. It's not just fans watching, it's the law. The cameras don't sleep, and neither do the feds. The game has changed forever. The only question left is, will the players change too? Or will they keep writing their own downfall in real time for the internet to watch? Pooh's still young, reckless, and walking on thin ice, playing a game that could cost him everything. Dissing Boosie over body counts might get him a wave of attention online, but that same attention could easily flip into federal time, or worse.
So where does that leave us now? Pooh Shiesty made a bold, risky move, jumping on Instagram to publicly claim he's got more bodies than Boosie. And Boosie, the man whose name was once tied to one of the wildest murder-for-hire cases hip-hop's ever seen, allegedly fired back in his own quiet way, warning the new generation about playing with their freedom for likes. This isn't just rap beef anymore. This is real life. In hip-hop right now, the line between entertainment and the streets isn't just blurry, it's completely gone. When people are actually dying, when teenagers are being manipulated into becoming shooters, when lives are being lost for songs and likes, it stops being beef and turns into straight-up tragedy. There's no clout, no fame, no record deal worth trading your freedom or your life for. Marlo Mike learned that the hardest way possible, confessing to 15 murders because the guilt tore him apart inside. Now he's spending the rest of his life behind prison walls, and those victims' families are still out here grieving, trying to find peace that may never come. And Pooh Shiesty, he's standing in that same dangerous spotlight now, the same one that's destroyed so many before him. His choices today could define his future forever. He can either learn from the ones who came before, Boosie, Marlo Mike, all the names written in hip-hop's darkest chapters, or he can repeat their mistakes and become another headline, another what could have been story in rap history. Because this isn't just about two rappers trading bars or clout. This is about how fame, ego, and violence keep mixing in ways that ruin lives. The industry needs to wake up. Fans need to see the difference between art and real pain. And the artists need to remember, the same internet that builds you up can be the same one that helps take you down. In the end, every rapper chasing fame has to make a choice. Do you want to live to tell your story, or have your story told for you? Pooh Shiesty sitting in federal prison, facing years behind bars, yet he's still posting online like nothing's changed. Every new caption, every picture, every bold statement gives prosecutors one more reason to keep his name in their files. The streets are watching it all unfold, wondering what's next. Will Pooh's post bring even more federal attention, or will Boosie finally decide to respond directly? But here's the truth. When you play federal games, you win federal prizes. And both of these rappers already know that better than most. This whole saga, from Boosie's dark past to Pooh Shiesty's reckless present, shows just how deep the danger runs in hip-hop right now. The energy's getting federal, it's getting risky, and it's proving that this rap life isn't just about beats and bars anymore. It's about real stakes and real consequences. Every move matters, every word can cost you. Fame might look glamorous, but behind the flash, the reality is cold. One wrong decision, and the same spotlight that made you famous can help destroy everything you built. So stay sharp, stay safe, and remember, no amount of clout is worth your freedom. Once you get caught in that federal system, there's no rewinding time. These stories aren't entertainment, they're lessons for anyone chasing fame through danger. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Is Pooh just trolling for attention, or is there some truth hiding behind his words? And will Boosie clap back, or keep letting his silence speak louder than anything he could post? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about it. And if you're rocking with these deep dives into hip-hop's wildest and most controversial moments, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps these real breakdowns coming, and trust me, the next one's gonna be even crazier. Stay locked in. This story's far from over.